Every day, welders around the world qualify to build boilers, pipelines, and pressure vessels holding steam, gas, and chemicals under extreme pressure. But who actually decides if that welder, or the welding procedure they're using, is good enough to trust with people's safety? There's one code answering that question across almost every heavy industry on the planet, and by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly how it works. Welcome to ASME Section 9 Explained. In this first episode, what is Section 9, and why does almost every welding job on the planet depend on it? Section 9 is the ASME Boiler and Pressure Vessel Code standard for qualifying welding, brazing, and fusing. In plain terms, it answers two questions. Is this welding procedure actually sound, and is this welder or operator skilled enough to follow it correctly and consistently? Section 9 doesn't design the pressure vessel, that's Section 8 job, and it doesn't set material specifications either. What Section 9 does, and only Section 9, is prove the welding holding everything together can actually be trusted. The code is organized into four main parts. Part QG covers general requirements that apply across the whole book. Part QW, Welding, is the big one, covering welding procedure qualification, welder and welding operator qualification, and the data tables that list every essential and non-essential variable you'll ever need to track. Part QB covers brazing, using the same basic logic as Part QW. And Part QF covers plastic fusing, for thermoplastic piping systems. We'll spend most of this series inside Part QW, since that's where the vast majority of real-world welding work, and welding certification questions, actually live. Section 9 draws a sharp line between two kinds of qualification. Procedure qualification proves a specific combination of process, material, and settings, written up as a welding procedure specification, or WPS, actually produces a sound weld, backed by a tested procedure qualification record, or PQR. Performance qualification proves an individual welder or welding operator can follow that procedure and produce good welds themselves, recorded on a welder performance qualification, or WPQ. One qualifies the method, the other qualifies the person. Section 9 isn't standalone reading, other major codes lean on it directly instead of writing their own welding rules from scratch. Section 1, for power boilers, points back to Section 9 for its welding qualification requirements. Section 8, for pressure vessels, does the same, and so do the B31 piping codes, covering everything from process plants to cross-country pipelines. In fact, Section 9 even has its own appendix, Appendix K, just to guide other codes on how to reference it correctly. That's why the same WPS and WPQ system shows up whether you are building a refinery, a power plant, a pipeline, or heavy rotating equipment like turbines and generators. So, to recap, Section 9 qualifies welding procedures and the people who use them. It's organized into four parts, QG, QW, QB, and QF. And it's the backbone that Sections 1, 8, and the B31 piping codes all lean on for their welding rules. Once you understand this basic structure, the rest of the code gets a lot less intimidating. In the next episode, we'll open up Part QW and break down exactly what goes into a welding procedure specification, and why getting a single variable wrong can fail the whole procedure, even if the weld itself looks perfect. Subscribe so you don't miss it, and head over to weldfabworld.com for the full written guide, with diagrams and worked examples to go along with every episode in this series.